Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. We are speaking about lasting love and compatibility in relationships, intimate relationships, right? Now we come to the fourth nakshatra of Rohini. All right. Rohini, the nakshatra of Krishna, Lord Krishna. He was born at Rohini nakshatra. So what does Rohini stand for? We need to see that. We will come to that in the next slide. Meanwhile, we are talking about good compatibility, meaning the signs which are first, third, fourth, seventh, 10th, and 11th, as it's marked there, from the moon sign in man or a woman's chart. In this case, we have put a female moon over Rohini. Why? Because Taurus is a female nakshatra. Taurus is a female sign. Okay, Rohini is a female nakshatra also, I would think. I'm not sure right now. So let us just take the female sign. Taurus is a female sign. So female Taurus will be compatible more on with the males of this 3, 4, 7, 11, 10 and 11, right? But having said that, caveat is generally man or woman's moon will be compatible in these positions, okay? And this is just one factor about the 8 of the Ashtakuta factors. There are many other factors, but we are just taking the consideration for long-lasting love and compatibility only. And we will examine the characteristics of intimacy that Rohini Nakshatra brings to the table, brings a partnership, man or a woman. So what is Rohini Nakshatra? If your moon is in Rohini Nakshatra, not in the first house, ignore the houses, in Rohini Nakshatra in Taurus, who are you compatible with? Number one, man or a moon's moon in Pushya or Punarvasu Nakshatra in Gemini. Because Punarvasu, remember, many nakshatras go into other signs also, right? Like Punarvasu also goes into Gemini. First three padas are in Gemini. Only the last pada is in Cancer. The third sign from Taurus becomes Cancer, not the third house. The third sign from Taurus, whichever house it is sitting in, becomes Cancer. The Punarvasu Nakshatra, the last pada of Punarvasu Nakshatra, which falls in Cancer, that is compatible with Rohini, not the other three padas, not the first three padas. Be very careful of how you interpret this. Of course, there is Pushya Nakshatra in Cancer. Why am I matching Devgana, Manushya Gana to Devgana? Because what I'm here for in relationships, we are here to go to the higher planes. Manushya, Rakshasa to Manushya, Manushya to Devgana. This is the transcendence of purpose. There's a transcendence of relationship there. Okay? We are going from lower realms to the higher realms. That is beginning from Rakshasa, going to Manushya, going towards Devgana. That's the objective. So we want to, whenever we have Manushya Gana in the moon sign, we want to match it with, hopefully, a Devgana. Manushya Gana is also fine, but never Rakshasa Gana. We don't want to go downward in a relationship. We want to go upward in a relationship in terms of vibration energies. Okay. So that's the first level, number 3 over there. Number 4, the fourth sign from Taurus. If your moon is in Rohini Nakshatra, your compatible man or woman should have their moon in Purva Phalguni or Uttara Phalguni in Leo. Moon in Leo for a man or a woman, but in Purva Phalguni or Uttara Phalguni, not in Magha Nakshatra, because Magha Nakshatra is Rakshasa. Not good idea. Although it can be compatible. Think of it this way. From Rakshasa Gana going to Manushya, going to Devgana, it is the dilution of the intensity of materialism and earthly passion. You want to go from earthly passion towards more higher and abstract forms of passion. Best I can call it that. Next, if your moon is in Rohini Nakshatra, hopefully woman, but man also will do, right? If your moon is in Taurus, in Rohini Nakshatra, the next compatible level of partnership for you would be in Anuradha Nakshatra in Scorpio, Taurus Scorpio axis. And this I'm guessing would be Krishna and Radha, Radha Krishna as we say. Because Anuradha means following Radha and Rohini was Krishna's Nakshatra. This axis is a very good match. Anuradha is extremely devoted to her partner. Die-hard partnership, right? Devotional love. They will be devoted to their partner no matter what. So if the moon is in Anuradha Nakshatra and the man's Nakshatra is in Rohini, it's a very good match for a nice, solid, grounded, romantic relationship. Next one, from the 10th sign of Taurus. From the 10th sign of Taurus is Aquarius. So if man's or moon's sign is in Taurus, in Rohini Nakshatra, the next compatibility will be Purva Bhadrapada in Aquarius. Remember, Purva Bhadrapada also goes some into Pisces, as you can see there. But we are talking about Aquarius Padas only. Okay. So man and a woman's moon in Aquarius. Next is the 11th sign from Taurus, which happens to be Pisces. If the moon is in Rohini Nakshatra of a man or a woman, next compatible partner, best one that you will find is in Revati Nakshatra, in the sign of Pisces, which is 11th from Taurus. Again, it is also compatible with Uttara Bhadrapada and Purva Bhadrapada in Pisces, but those are Manushya Ganas. They are not really growing in relationship. It's one of the things where I want to come from. A relationship is meant for soul growth. One of the main things about relationship is for soul growth, not just for having a 2-bit romance and two minutes in bed. Okay, there's lots more happening in a relationship in terms of soul growth. That's where I'm coming from, right? Now let's see the characteristics, the intimacy and bonding characteristics of Rohini Nakshatra. Okay, let's see that. So what are the characteristics of Rohini Nakshatra? Here I have left Navamsha also for you to look at, right? Navamsha Padas. So Rohini, what are the characteristics they bring towards intimacy? When you talk of intimacy, what does Rohini want to convey to you? Yeah, let's see that. So let's see, what does Rohini bring? They are of romantic and affectionate type of people. They possess a tender and loving nature and enjoy expressing their love and care to their partners. Beautiful. Like I said, it's a nakshatra of Krishna. You can expect all the good things from Rohini. It's a Manushya Gana. So it wants to bring earthly form of love down to the planet Earth, not going into transcendental forms of love. Okay, think about that. Let us get back. Okay. So another one Rohini enjoys is sensual and they are pleasure seeking. They enjoy indulging in sensual experiences with their partners, such as fine dining. Rohini is about fine dining, luxurious candlelight dinners, physical touch, creating luxurious and comfortable environment. Now, even if you go to the career one of Rohini, which is somewhere in the career list, right? Career playlist, you will find Rohini is good at businessmen, fine dining restaurants, cafes. Obviously, they will bring the same element to their romantic partnership also for those lovers over there. They also are patient and steadfast. They are willing to invest time and effort in building a strong foundation and are committed to the long-term sustainability of their partnerships. Early sign, Manushya Taurus, Venus. Who is Venus? See there? Venus and Moon together. It's a Moon Nakshatra. Hasta, Rohini and Shravana Nakshatra, Moon Nakshatra. So they're emotional in nature, and Venus ruling Taurus and being an earthly sign, and Rohini in Manushya Gana. It gives all these characteristics, seriously. Next one, nurturing and supportive. They are prioritize the emotional well-being of their partners and are always ready to provide a listening ear and comforting presence and practical support. Beautiful. They are also artistic and creative. They appreciate beauty in all forms and may use their artistic abilities to express their love and enhance the aesthetic nature of their relationships. Probably one thing that many couples miss, the aesthetic part of their relationships. What do you mean by aesthetic part? Well, the finer aspects of a relationship. What do you love doing together? What do you love exploring together? Do you have common bonding attributes? I've covered this in Navamsha. Do you have a common place that you meet where you can explore things together? That creates an intimate bond higher than any sexual element or higher than any other element in intimacy. Lasting emotional connect. Loyalty and devotion is the next one. Once they commit to a relationship, they remain dedicated, right, and faithful, and expecting the same level of loyalty in return. Loyalty and devotion. One man, woman, or one woman, man, right? That kind of a thing. Stable and reliable. They strive to create a secure, dependable environment for themselves and their partners, ensuring a strong foundation of their love. So they're more earthly creatures. That's why the word foundation figures in. Harmonious and peaceful. They are skillful at finding common ground, resolving conflicts amicably, and creating a serene, balanced atmosphere in their romantic relationships. That's beautiful, isn't it? So that's what Rohini brings to the table in terms of intimate attributes. Next one, we'll take the fifth nakshatra, which is whatever it is. We'll deal with it. Okay, meanwhile, take care. Be safe. So the first level of compatibility for a man or a woman's moon sign in a Hasta Nakshatra in Virgo will be Hasta Nakshatra itself, right? Number one, compatible with number one. Next one, the third sign from Virgo, which happens to be Scorpio. That's a match, but in specific nakshatras only. For example, moon in Hasta Nakshatra will only match moon in Anuradha Nakshatra in Scorpio. Why? Because it's the Dev-Gana factor. The Gana factor is very crucial to understand this for a lasting relationship if you want to avoid that bhakut business. Okay. Next, if a man or a woman's sign, moon is in Hasta Nakshatra within Virgo, the next level of compatibility, as you can see there, is Uttara Ashadha and Purva Ashadha, which happen to be Manushya Ganas, which is fine, not necessarily the highest state, but at least it is compatible. Uttara Ashadha or Purva Ashadha within the sign of Sagittarius, the other partner's moon. The third level of compatibility between the moon signs of Hasta will be the seventh sign, and this is a good match because it is right opposite in the house of spouse itself. The seventh house is right opposite, so there's a natural attraction factor between house number 1 and 7. It's like, there's the magic, there's a spark in the air. You are instantly attracted to this man or a woman. When 1 and 7 come into picture, there is always that factor, a blind attraction, if you want to call it that. Man or a woman's in Hasta Nakshatra and the other partner's moon in Revati Nakshatra. Revati being a Devgana and Hasta being a Devgana, this makes for a very good match. Revati Nakshatra falls in the sign of Pisces, which is opposite to Virgo. The fourth level of compatibility will be man or a woman's moon in Hasta Nakshatra and the 10th sign from Virgo, which happens to be Gemini, as you can see there. All the three nakshatras within Gemini are compatible with Hasta because two are Devganas, Mrigashira and Punarvasu, and one Ardha nakshatra is Manushya Gana. Said, blue bubbles are all Devganas, orange brown bubbles are all Manushya Ganas, and yellow bubbles are Rakshasa Ganas. I just like to make it simple. Color distinction. So that's the fourth level. The fifth and the final level of compatibility for Moon in Hasta Nakshatra will be in the sign of Cancer, which is the 11th place from Virgo. The 11th place from Virgo happens to be Cancer. So in the Cancer, there is Punarvasu and Pushya Nakshatra, both, right? So this happens to be the last level of compatibility. We can talk all we want endlessly about compatibility in moon signs, with the ascendant, with the moon signs, etc. But unless and until we understand and take deliberate effort in understanding what the nakshatra brings to the table, you don't connect with the partner, right? So let's get started and then let's examine the Hasta Nakshatra intimacy characteristics. There we have the Hasta Nakshatra characteristics. Zodiac sign Virgo, Guna is Rajas, so it's a highly movable nakshatra. Tattva is fire, very fire-like. They have a lot of vata. Nature is swift. Hasta is very, very swift in its action. Let me just take myself out of that box over there and place myself here below the lovers. Okay. So, characteristics of intimacy. Deity is Savitur, so radiance of the sun. Hasta has this energy of being powerfully illuminating to whatever they touch, whatever they see, even if it becomes to partners. We are examining intimacy here. So, what are the characteristics? Analytical and detail oriented first. They analyze situations carefully and pay attention to the finer aspects of their relationship, of their partner's needs and desires. They are often ready to lend a helping hand to their partners and find practical solutions to relationship challenges. Every relationship has some challenge or the other, right? We all know this. It's nothing like an ideal thing. But if you know the characteristics of nakshatra, it becomes easier. So if you have a man or a woman with Hasta Nakshatra Moon, you need to understand where they come from. Next is they are adaptable and flexible. They can easily adjust to changing circumstances and are open to compromise and cooperation with their partners. This is proper Virgo. Virgo is very adaptable because it's a dual sign. They can see two sides of the coin. That's what dual sign means essentially. They are easily adjusting to circumstances. They can move around a lot. They are very brilliant in their mental thinking. They are very grounded. Hasta Nakshatra. And it's a Devgana, so they are looking for that higher ideology in their relationships, even. They are often shy or reserved. They may take time to open up emotionally, but can form deep connections once they feel comfortable and secure. How good is that? So, if you're a man or woman Hasta, I'm sure you know this. If you are, please make some comments in the comment box. They may take time to open up. Be patient with them because it's a highly moving energy. It's a Rajasic nakshatra. It moves, constantly moving. And Virgo being a grounded sign, they can be very grounded in their approach to things as well, which is good. In a relationship, there needs to be some kind of a grounding. They are organized and systematic. Once again, the Virgo principle plays in. Virgo is a grounded sign. So they are organized, they're systematic, they appreciate structure and order even in their relationship. And they may establish routines and rituals, logic and practicality to their partnerships. They rely on logic and practicality. Virgo 101. When making choices that impact their love life and prioritize long term stability. Being grounded sign, the same thing is true for Capricorn, for example. That's also an earth sign. Or Taurus, that's the third earth sign. Earth signs tend to want to have stability in their relationships, right? We all know this if you don't know the basics of astrology. So they tend to prioritize logic and practicality as a means of grounding. Let me put it that way. Their desire for perfection is huge. Once again, it's Virgo. Virgo wants nitpicking. It can become a downside. Hasta Nakshatra tends to nitpick a lot. Like take care of the minute details, be very sharp in their criticism because they observe a lot. Doesn't mean this what they're saying is not true. Yes, it is. Kind of need to control the tongue a little bit, Hasta. They pay attention to details and strive for excellence in their interactions with their partners. Okay. They find fulfillment in serving and supporting their partners and derive satisfaction from meeting their needs. If you want your intimacy needs met, Hasta Nakshatra is very good at it. Mentally, grounded, and even physically, because it's an earth sign. And it's a Devgana, so they are looking for higher ideology even within the intimate aspects, not just career. We are doing another career series. You can look at the career part. You can see the similar thread playing out between nakshatras in everyone, right? Communication skills. They have a way with words. They're very good with their words and can express their thoughts and emotions with clarity and precision. Once again, Virgo plays in here. Virgo is very, very clear in its approach. Virgo is very grounded, clear, sharp in its approach. But the downside of that can get nitpicking, picking faults. If you're with a man or a woman, you might have observed this. If you have seen this, leave your comments. I would love to know. But they have this way of being very sharp with their approach. Kind of need to tone that down, Hasta. This doesn't work very well in intimate relationships, right? So we need to understand that and work with these beautiful people in this way. Learn intimacy, learn bonding, learn the nakshatra characteristics, which will help you a lot. Okay. I'll see you in the next. Meanwhile, take care, be safe. So there you have it. The Capricorn Moon, Shravana Nakshatra sign compatibility. So the first level of compatibility right there is the third sign from Capricorn. Now we're in the heart of Capricorn. Shravana Nakshatra is a Devgana. So the third sign from Capricorn becomes Pisces, and in that it should be Revati Nakshatra. This is a good compatibility, by the way. The Shravana Nakshatra with Revati. The second compatibility will be with the fourth sign from Capricorn, which now happens to be Aries. And within Aries, the moon should be in Ashwini Nakshatra. The third level of compatibility for Capricorn moon in Shravana Nakshatra would be the seventh sign of Cancer, which is opposite to Capricorn. And it should be in Pushya or Punarvasu as shown there. The fourth level of compatibility would be with Libra, which happens to be the 10th sign from Capricorn, and within that, the moon should be in Swati. So, Shravana Nakshatra, moon, and Swati Nakshatra, moon. Kind of would be a big tussle there, Shravana with Swati, in this context, because both are very individualistic. Shravana has a tough time listening to good advice, and Swati doesn't give a shit about your thinking. Swati is very individualistic in nature. So, although you might think there are Devganas, there is an issue there. Same with Manushya Gana, same with Rakshasa Gana. There is always something to look at. This is why it's important to understand not only the nakshatras, but what the life lesson is. That's why I'm covering that in the heart of nakshatra. Okay, the last level of compatibility for Shravana Nakshatra moon is in the 11th sign from Capricorn, which now happens to be Scorpio in the moon sign nakshatra of Anuradha. The Shravana Nakshatra Anuradha, more compatibility, I would think, because Anuradha Nakshatra loves to be devoted, devotion at all costs. Whether the husband or wife is a maniac, they will still be devoted to them because devotion is even the Achilles heel of Anuradha Nakshatra. Never mind that, but Shravana Nakshatra loves to be on top of things. So that's also a good kind of chemistry, if you might want to call it that. I don't know. Let us see now the characteristics of intimacy of Shravana Nakshatra itself. Because unless we understand the characteristics of how Shravana feels, how they feel the emotion, how they connect, how they emotionally bond with somebody else, unless this is there, people are not going anywhere, right? Let's see that next. So there you have our beautiful lovers in the bubble, right? And now we are talking about Capricorn moon in Shravana Nakshatra. What are the characteristics that define how these people perceive intimacy? Intimacy is a perception. This is where I come from. And this is what I have seen and experienced. Intimacy is a perception, more like how much you can feel, sense, and connect emotionally with the other person. This is where nakshatras become very dominant in the drive. Because what you say, I feel like this or I feel like that strongly, like you feel from within you, it's like subconscious thing, is driven by nakshatras. This is where you should pay attention. Characteristics of intimacy for the Shravana Nakshatra follows. Wise and knowledgeable, they have a thirst for learning and may possess a wealth of information which they bring to the relationships. They are very wise. They think about a lot of things. They read about a lot of stuff. So they are wise. Responsible and reliable, Saturnian. They take their commitment seriously and are dedicated to supporting and nurturing their loved ones. very responsible, dutiful, or work donkey, if you want to call it that. They treat their partners with kindness, courtesy, and consideration, considering the consideration. Deeply devoted, they believe in the power of long lasting relationships and are willing to put in the effort to create a strong bond. Like Shravana Nakshatra is one nakshatra which you can counted on to be doubling down. Like whatever crap you got going on, your partner can put up with it quietly. That could be a Shravana Nakshatra. They are attuned to the emotional needs of their partners and can provide comfort and support during challenging times. Again, the perseverance aspect of Saturn plays here because it is in the heart of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. They are good listeners, as in they listen, they don't obey much in terms of good counsel. They value effective communication and actively listen to their partner's needs, concerns, aspirations, fostering a supportive, understanding environment. They understand that lasting relationships require effort and are willing to work through the challenges. It's again the Saturn aspect, you know, gruelingly moving through the relationships one day to another, taking care of their partner's rubbish. Traditional values. They may seek partners who can share their respect for tradition and family values. Once again, Saturnian. They may actively work towards creating a harmonious, loving family environment. So you can see both in Uttara and in Shravana, these characteristics of Saturn coming out. Very disciplined, very grounded, very family oriented. There's no individualistic aspect. This is why I was pointing out the compatibility problem with Swati. Swati is very individualistic. It doesn't give a shit about family or family relationships. Those are all roles for it. It wants to go the individual direction. Like I'm going where nobody has gone before, even in terms of intimacy. This is where Swati comes from. So although it is in 10th place from Shravana, technically it is compatible. You got to see these aspects of nakshatras as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go and look up the Nakshatra playlist, the art of the nakshatras. I'm making so many videos on nakshatras just to give you this perspective of how deep this is psychologically, emotionally, the psychic makeup, the subconscious mind, because nakshatras are basically a subconscious mind. Okay. So the next one after Shona. Yes, of course, Dhanishta Nakshatra. So next we shall take care of Dhanishta Nakshatra, split personality, so to speak. Just kidding, because it falls half in Capricorn, half in Aquarius. So Dhanishta once again has two parts, two levels of compatibility. The first two padas, next two padas, we shall see all the yada yada. Meanwhile, take care, be safe, and try to understand the Shravana Nakshatra better if you have a